What's up, world? It's Tuesday night, and you know what that means. That's right, a brand new Round 2 Wrestling podcast is here for your listening pleasure. I am Slim the Kid. Thank you for tuning in to this brand new podcast here on the 9th of August, 2022. We have some rumors to talk about in our rumor mill section, a lot of news to go over, plenty of results from all those title matches across a plethora of promotions this past week and weekend, and a brand new Did You Know fan favorite full of fun facts and little bits of information that you may or may not have known about in the wrestling world. So without further ado, let's jump into the rumor mill and take a listen to what may or may not be happening in the world of professional wrestling. Fightful Select notes that, not surprisingly, morale and optimism are high in the WWE locker room, with Vince McMahon's removal and Triple H running creative. Wrestling Observer Radio's Dave Meltzer said Ronda Rousey is still booked for WWE's Clash at the Castle pay-per-view, despite Ronda Rousey being quote-unquote suspended indefinitely by the WWE. AEW has filed for a trademark called All Elite Women. Could AEW be getting an all-female show? As we like to say here on Round 2 Wrestling, only time will tell. On the Hall of Fame podcast, Booker T says he turned down a Harlem Heat reunion at StarCast in 2023. Wrestling Observer Radio seemed to indicate CM Punk is slow in his recovery and is doubtful to return by AEW's next pay-per-view coming up Labor Day weekend called All Out. WWE's SummerSlam tryouts were a disaster, according to Brian Alvarez. Tons of injuries, including several concussions. Independent wrestlers were not allowed at these tryouts. WWE seems to be moving in the direction of allowing indie wrestlers at tryouts at a later date. Dave Meltzer reports women wrestlers in WWE believe they will get a bigger push under the new WWE management regime. Ric Flair's last match had a grand total of 6,800 live fans in attendance, with a draw of $448,502 at the gate. Good enough for the second largest indie event behind All In. Per The Observer, WWE's Logan Paul will be away from WWE for an unspecified amount of time while he trains for a potential boxing match later this year. Alright, those are the rumors to think about for the next week. Some of these are going to turn out to be true. Others are going to turn out to be absolute garbage. That's why the rumor mill is fun, because I have no clue what is being fabricated and what is truth, and neither do you. But it's always fun to keep tabs on these sort of things and see what may or may not happen. But we are done with may or may nots and are ready to jump over to something a bit more factual. This is the news in professional wrestling. Glenn Kane Jacobs was elected to a second term as mayor of Knox County, Tennessee, after the primaries took place a couple weeks ago. Fightful Select confirms WWE has fired John Laurinaitis as of last week. His company's cell phone and email have been terminated. AEW's Battle of the Belts 3 gathered an average viewership of 43,000 viewers per WrestleNomics, ranking number 12 on cable and 30th overall for broadcast prime time. On the Busted Open radio show, Mark Henry explains why he has not wrestled since joining AEW. A medical reason keeps the world's strongest man at bay. Nerve damage to his SI joint is the reason why we have not seen him in a ring since his arrival in AEW. The Jericho Appreciation Society has a member that is now injured. Matt Menard is out with injuries sustained at AEW's Blood and Guts in Detroit, Michigan over 3 weeks, maybe a month ago. There is a silver lining to this bit of news. No surgery will be needed, just a stint of rehab. First reported by Fightful Select, AEW's Jamie Hayter sustained a broken nose during the AEW Women's title match at Battle of the Belts 3 this past Saturday. No time off is needed. Location and date for AEW's Battle of the Belts 4 has already been released. Friday, October 7th at the Entertainment and Sports Arena in Washington, D.C. will play host to Battle of the Belts 4. Former NXT Tag Team Champion and Impact Wrestling wrestler Matt Rehwoldt steps away from active competition and will focus on announcing and voice acting. Why does Ring of Honor not have a TV time slot? Ring of Honor owner Tony Khan actually does not have full membership of Ring of Honor. Sinclair Broadcast Group, still a partial owner, is the reason for Ring of Honor's struggling to secure a time slot on its own. This is a very similar issue that WWF faced when it was trying to purchase WCW and ECW back in the early 2000s. Alright, that is it for news, so we have nothing else to talk about. We are going to jump over into this very large results section of Round 2 Wrestling. A lot of titles were on the line. AEW, NXT, NWA, and Impact all had title matches, and we here at Round 2 Wrestling are proud to give you the results of those title matches. We know that it is impossible for any one fan to pay attention as closely as these promotions would like you to, so we cut out the middleman and give you those results, and here they are. U.S. Champion Bobby Lashley defeated Tommaso Ciampa to retain the WWE United States Championship. Katana Chance and Kaden Carter defeated Gigi Dolan and JC Jane, Ivy Nile and Tatum Paxley, Valentina Feroz and Yulcia Leon to win the vacant NXT Women's Tag Team Championship. NXT North American Champion Carmelo Hayes defeated Nathan Frazier to retain the NXT North American title. NXT Tag Team Champions the Creed Brothers defeated Tony D'Angelo and Channing Stax Lorenzo to retain the NXT Tag Team titles. NXT Tag Team Champions the Creed Brothers defeated Andre Chase and Bodhi Hayward to retain the NXT Tag Team titles. In case you are wondering, yes, there were two NXT Tag Team title defenses basically back-to-back this week. That's why you heard the same team defend their title successfully twice. NXT Women's Tag Team Champions Katana Chance and Kaden Carter defeated Lash Legend and Jahara Jackson to retain the NXT Women's Tag Team titles. On that same note, the NXT Women's Tag Team titles were also won and defended in the same week. That is, again, why you're hearing the same names multiple times on the results portion here on Round 2 Wrestling. AEW Interim World Champion Jon Moxley defeated Mance Warner to retain the AEW World Championship. AEW Tag Team Champions Swerve and Our Glory defeated Tony Nese and Josh Woods to retain the AEW Tag Team titles. TNT Champion Wardlow defeated Jay Lethal to retain the TNT Championship at Battle of the Belts 3. AEW Women's World Champion Thunder Rosa defeated Jamie Hayter to retain the AEW Women's Championship also at Battle of the Belts 3. Ring of Honor World Champion Claudio Castagnoli defeated Konosuke Takeshita to retain the Ring of Honor World title also at Battle of the Belts 3 this past Saturday. Impact Digital Media Champion Brian Myers defeated Black Taurus to retain the Impact Digital Championship. NWA TV Champion Tyrus defeated Odinson to retain the NWA TV title. A little note, this NWA TV Championship retained by Tyrus, the challenger Odinson was known by a different name in a different promotion. You know him as Brodius Clay. NWA Junior Heavyweight Champion Homicide defeated PJ Hawks to retain the NWA Junior Heavyweight Championship. Alright, a lot of titles on the line, and hopefully you were able to get all those results. Listen again to Round 2 Wrestling in case you missed one of those title matches. To conclude our show, we will move right into the Did You Know portion of Round 2 Wrestling. Did You Know is little bits of information and facts about pro wrestling that you may or may not have known about. Did you know Ole Anderson chose his ring name after the poisonous plant called oleander? Did you know Themis Clarides is a former WWF model and ring girl who became a lawyer and was later elected to the House of Representatives for the state of Connecticut? Did you know WrestleMania 33 was the first victory for the Hardy Boys at a WrestleMania? Did you know the IWGP Triple Crown is winning the U.S. Intercontinental and Heavyweight IWGP titles? Only Kenny Omega and Jay White are true IWGP Triple Crown champions. Did you know Jesse the Body Ventura made his debut as a color commentator January 19th, 1985 on WWF's All-Star Wrestling? Did you know Alexa Bliss's pinfall over Randy Orton at Fastlane 2021 was the first time a woman had beat a man in WWE since 1999 when Chyna pinned Jeff Jarrett? Did you know in 1945, Major League Baseball legend Babe Ruth became a referee for a pro wrestling promotion? As a result, the MLB refused to offer Babe Ruth a job as a coach or manager. Did you know WrestleMania 37 was the first WrestleMania since 1988 where Shawn Michaels, Triple H, and The Undertaker were not in a match? That particular WrestleMania in 88 was WrestleMania 4. Did you know in 1980 New Japan Pro Wrestling and All Japan Pro Wrestling played a promotional softball game? New Japan ended up winning the game 22-5 with 3,000 faithful in attendance. All right, that is the conclusion of our show. I am Slim the Kid, and I personally want to thank you for tuning in to Round 2 Wrestling. Be sure to tune in next week for a brand new episode as I bring you more news, more rumors, more results from the world of professional wrestling. Round 2 Wrestling is brought to you by Slim the Kid and Spreaker.com.